So this is the one non-static or instance methods. As we know, we already discussed static methods. If static keyword is there, that's a static method in method signature. If a method doesn't contain a static keyword, then that method is called non-static or instance method. So any non-static method syntax is access modifier, return type, method name, parenthesis, curly bracket, method body, curly bracket ends. And so again, non-static methods or instance methods are two types: parameterized instance method and non-parameterized instance method. Parameterized instance method means if a method contains parameters, then that method is called parameterized instance method. And example for this syntax is access modifier, void, method name. So parenthesis data type P1, comma, data type P2, comma, data type P3, and so on. So this is how you can use the parameter list. You can write only one parameter or two parameters or three parameters and so on. So then method body and logic. And example, you can write a public void set emp name, C, parenthesis, data type I have given a string, and parameter name is a name. See, as it is, we followed here parameter name, any name you can give. So just a variable, right? Variable. So declaration, that's it. No assignment here. That's a parameter. Then curly bracket, method body. Curly bracket ends. This is the parameterized method. So syntax and one example. So non-parameterized instance method. If a method doesn't contain any parameters, then that method is called non-parameterized instance method. If a method doesn't contain any parameters, then that method is called non-parameterized instance method. Sorry, guys. Okay. So non-parameterized instance method means if a method doesn't contain any parameters, then that method is called non-parameterized instance method. So syntax is access modifier, void, method name, parenthesis, method body, and logic. So curly bracket starts and ends. So these are, you can observe here, both are with void. Both are with void. So there are methods without void. So we already seen in static methods. So access modifier, data type, method name, parenthesis, curly bracket, logic, and return the value. Return the value, curly bracket ends. See, protected, string, get emp name. So return name. See, no void keyword here. So the data type. So that means this example tells you this method is going to give a string type data. This method is going to give you string type data. Like that, your method, how you will develop, how you will design, what logic you are developing, and what type of data you want. Based on that, you have to write the data type here. Based on that, you have to write the data type here. So data types, I told you so many. Primitive and non-primitive, both are. So examples. So what are the primitive data types, Sanjay? And
We have integers, floating points, characters, and Boolean. And to break them down, we have for integers, we have byte, short, int, and long. For floating point, we have float and double. And we just have char for characters, and Boolean is just Boolean.
Okay.
Then we have non-primitive data types, which involve string, class, enum. Those are the few off the top of my head. I can't remember more. Sorry. Interface. That's pretty much what I remember. Sorry. I got a few more though, for sure.
Yeah, string,
I just need to be able to
class,
recall. Yeah.
array,
Yep.
string, class, array, enum, interface. These are the things. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So those are the any data type you can write here. So then logic you build here inside that. Make sure you return this, whatever the data type you are declaring here, that data type value only it should return. So, and access modifier, data type, method name, parenthesis, data type P1, comma, data type P2. So curly bracket, logic, return variable, curly bracket ends. So that's the method without void, without parameters, without void, with the parameter. So these are the four syntaxes. Let's go and write these type of methods. Okay, we'll create the methods, then we'll try to call. And also another point I want to give here. Okay, how can you? Okay, you created a non-static methods. You declared a non-static variables in the class. How can you call them in the main method? If you don't call in the main method, it won't execute, right? Then how can you execute them? How can you call them under main method? Can you call directly? No. Because one is a non-static, is a static. Main is a static method. Both are different category. You cannot call. So how can we call them? So that's what here answer, by creating object for the class. You create object for the class. How can you create object for the class? Using new keyword. New keyword will create an object for the class. So what is the syntax? So local variable syntax, so is class name reference variable equal to new class name parenthesis semicolon. Now, can you tell me what is mean by this assignment operator?
It takes the right-hand side value and copies it into the variable on the left.
Exactly.
Operator.
No. Yeah, right. Now, this is the value. What is the value? The memory address. The memory heap, here it will store, you know, right? The non-static variables and non-static methods will store the data in the heap memory. Right? When you create this is the object. This is the one object. When you create this object, automatically memory will be created in the heap. In that memory, all non-static variables and non-static methods will go and store in that. And what is mean by reference variable? Any variable pointing to this object is called reference variable. So what reference variable holds? The address of the object. This is the object. This object address will store in this variable. So that's the reference variable means. Then, okay, you created object here. And this object address you assign to this one, this variable. This variable you need to use to call all the members of these objects. So this object inside, what are all there? This object inside, you have so what is there in this object? All non-static. So this is the object. New class name. This is called object. So this object inside instance variables. And instance methods. Okay. So these only will be there stored in this memory. This has some integer number, this memory address. Okay. That memory address has some, suppose this is the heap memory. Okay. This is the heap memory. So in this okay. So this is the heap memory, this entire heap memory. This is the one memory address, one object. This one is one object. So in this, whatever is there, if you want to access, you need to use this reference variable. With that reference variable, you can call, see, how we are calling a non-static method? This reference variable dot, okay, this reference variable dot non-static method. How can you call non-static variables? Reference variable dot non-static variable. You can call any non-static method with a reference variable. You can call any non-static variable with a reference variable. Clear how to call non-static variables in the same class under main method? But how can you call static methods in the same class?
static method name.
Just a static method name, right?
Yes.
But the non-static methods, what is the process?
You need the reference variable.
No, first you have to say create object. That's the first. Without the object, you cannot get reference variable, right? Yeah. First point you have to say create object for the class. Then how can you create object for the class? Using new keyword. Then what is the syntax? Class name, reference variable equal to new class name, parenthesis, semicolon. So the object is this one. Okay. What is the object? So this is the object. This portion is object. So this object means this one. In the heap, this is the total heap area. This is the total heap area. Okay. In this heap area, so one of the object is created. Now using that reference variable, you can call all the non-static variables and non-static methods. Object reference dot non-static method. Object reference dot non-static variable. So this reference variable is nothing but new class name parenthesis. Okay. This reference variable is nothing but what? This value, right? New class name. New class name parenthesis is this reference variable. That's why new reference variable dot non-static method. Reference variable dot non-static variable. So there is an anonymous object concept. Anonymous object means no reference for that. If you create object for a class without reference, so there is no reference, then that object is called anonymous object. So here if you see new class name, can you see here any reference is there?
No.
No.
So this one doesn't have any reference, right? That's why, so this is called a reference, an object without reference, that is called anonymous object. So how can you call the methods? How can you call the methods or variables? You have to create every time anonymous object. See that? Anonymous object dot non-static method. Anonymous object dot non-static method. Every time you see, the disadvantage here is to call multiple methods, every time you are going to create object. That means another object will create here. This is the object 1, anonymous object 1, and this is the another object. So waste of memory, right? Then when to use with the reference variable, when to use with the anonymous object, when to call. So when you want to call multiple methods with the same object, then go for with reference variable. So what is that? Let me repeat again. When you want to call multiple instance methods and instance variables of same object, then go with the reference variable concept. Or you want to create only one method of that class, then go with the anonymous object. Okay? So that it will reduce the number of lines. Right? Here one line, for calling another line, you can reduce one line, right? So, but here in the single line, you can create object here and call the method. Single line, you can finish everything. Creating object and calling the method also. Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all about, to call non-static methods and non-static variables. Anywhere, same process. It won't change. Okay. Process is same. So when you can create multiple objects, you can create multiple instances of a class to store a different data. So basically in object-oriented programming language, a class is just a template for creating objects, right? That's what we learned in the beginning class. You can create multiple instances of a class, each of which is called an object. Each instance of a class is called one object. So each object can have its own attribute values and behaviors. That means each object has its own data and its own behavior. So that's a unique queue. So that's the anonymous objects means. And objects means basically. Okay. So are you clear? Any questions?
So far, so good.
Okay. Perfect. So let's go and write the methods. And so we'll create a new class. Okay. Here, new class you create. So non-static members then. Okay. Or instance members name. Okay. Anything. It doesn't matter. Instance. Instance. Okay. So C instance I capital, members M capital, demo D capital. So let's create all the non-static variables first. So can you tell me what is a non-static variable syntax?
The non-static variable syntax is, sorry, just 1 minute. Non-static variable is access modifier.
Why this much time, sir? Why you're taking time?
Access modifier, void.
Why that? So you're not understanding.
Oh, sorry. Data type.
Yeah, I'm asking variables, okay?
Yep. Not sorry, access modifier, data type, variable name equals variable value.
Yeah. That's the syntax. So I'll create all 4 types of access modifiers I'll use. So keep on using, you won't forget, right? So that's the only mantra. Other than that, nothing. So data type, you can create a string str equal to selenium. Next, default, I can say char c equal to small a. Next, protected. Int I equal to 25. Public. So double D equal to Wi-Fi. Okay, so these are the all non-static variables. So I'm going to use, I just want to play around with the character. Okay, so you can see around the character, right?
Mhm.
And also you can play around with typecasting also. What are the, I want to create a one function. Okay, I just want to create a function. Let's go and create a function. First, a non-static method with void without parameters. So first I'll write the syntax, okay?
Mhm.
Access modifier, void. So directly I'm putting a void method
Mhm.
name. So parenthesis, no, nothing, logic. So access modifier is I'm going to use private void and method name. Method name is basically, so what you want to do. So entire, it should be a description of your logic. So maybe I'm playing around characters. So I'll put a char demo. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll just add it. See, I'm going to play with character values. So char C1 equal to, okay, char C1 equal to, I just want to see C plus 3. So what is throwing error?
You're trying to what is it? Copy the value on the right side, which is not a character. It will most likely end up being an integer value.
You're right. Excellent. It's an integer. See, type mismatch error. See, you're getting a red mark, right?
Mhm.
That's a type mismatch error. C1 is a character you declared. Fine. But right side also should be a character, right?
Mhm.
But we assigned integer. So C means, what is the C value? C ASCII code. What is the C ASCII code? 97. Okay.
Mhm.
A is going to have a 97 integer number. Now C97 plus 3. That means total how much is this one?
100.
100. So you have to convert 100 equal character. 100 is a ASCII code. So you need to convert this into character. How can you convert? So do a typecasting. Add cast. So write add cast to character. Convert the right side one also into character. Okay, that's the how you can do that. Okay.
Mhm.
Next. So I want integer number. Okay. So integer I2 equal to C